Text Expander from Smile is supporting this edition of MacVoices. Text Expander can help you be more productive in every single application on your Mac. Find out how at textexpander.com. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner, and we are in Las Vegas for NAB. I have Kirstie and Javert from FXhome here. You may remember an interview we did with FXhome a little while ago, but this time we're back, of course, at NAB to make new announcements, because that's what we do here. Kirstie, thanks so much for being here. Javert, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So what kind of announcements are you making at this show? Because it sounds like there's some big things coming.
Yeah, we're making some really, really exciting ones at this particular show. So the very first one that we've got, HitFilm Pro, I know that Josh spoke to you about that in our last interview. For those of you who don't know, HitFilm Pro is an all-in-one editor and compositor. It's available for $2.99 on our store. It's mostly for people who are really interested in editing, compositing, visual effects, 3D stuff, motion graphics, titling. It pretty much takes all of the best parts of various other pieces of software and puts it together in one so that you don't have to learn a bunch of different pieces of software. The very first announcement that we're making, actually the Foundry have announced it a couple of hours ago now, is that we're going to be bringing the Foundry's camera tracker into HitFilm Pro. So for our users, that's incredibly exciting because it means that you can basically replicate your 2D camera into a 3D space so that you can then realistically composite 3D models and mask out areas and things like that as well. It's something we've been working on for a while, and we're really, really passionate, excited about it. You can access the camera tracker from within the HitFilm timeline itself, so it's all fully integrated, and yeah, it's going to come as standard in the HitFilm Pro software, and also as an add-on for Express. For about $50, so actually not inaccessible for our HitFilm Express free users either.
That sounds very exciting. That just adds a whole new dimension to HitFilm.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're really excited about it. Did I miss anything from it?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So anytime you have a scene where the camera shakes or your camera moves at all, you have to track it. And if it's a 3D track like the Foundry's camera tracker can do, it makes it much more realistic because you can basically just walk with the camera and just do anything you want, and eventually the software will pick it up correctly.
Now, this is always an interesting question. I think I probably asked it before, but for the sake of this interview, who is HitFilm for? Is it for somebody who's trying to do high-end, low-end, medium, prosumer? Where do you see it fit?
With regards to HitFilm Pro, we're looking at really a prosumer audience, the people who want to be able to create really, really powerful visual effects, but also don't necessarily want to have to be swapping in and amongst lots of different software. That said, we do actually expect the majority of our users to use multiple pieces of software anyway, because that's generally how people's workflow works. But yeah, so HitFilm Pro is mostly for the prosumers, but we were aware that there were a lot of people who were more beginners and were trying to get into the visual effects industry, or were trying to just start editing things, the next generation of filmmakers basically. So that's when we released HitFilm Express, which is completely free. It has about 75%, I would say, of the HitFilm Pro feature base, and then you can purchase various add-ons to get that extra 20%, and then HitFilm Pro has some exclusive features there for those who really want to take everything to the next level. But yeah.
I like that. I really like that idea, because there's so many things we see here at NAB that are at the 10,000, 30,000 foot level really, and there's nobody hovering at 500 feet, where so many people need to get their feet wet and decide whether they like this, whether it's fun, and whether they can make a living at it.
That's one of the things, is when you are a teenager or a kid just looking at these movies and you want to know how they do it, which is exactly what I did. You look at these movies and they're professional and they look so good, and you just have no idea how to get into it. So the goal of HitFilm is to kind of make it easy for people to take that first step. And if they do like it, they can continue on with the tutorials and learning more features, and we want to make it easy for them to get started.
And right now we're at a time when, to your point, listen, I'm not a teenager and I want to know how they did it. So, if you want to get into it, there's so many options and opportunities. but a lot of them cost a lot of money. And so it's great that you are giving folks that option to get into it and then grow into the paid features.
Well, thank you very much. That's exactly what the company was built for. The community is what we've always been really, really passionate about. And the more we got to know the users that we have, the ambassadors, and Javert being one of the first very, very skilled users that we have, along with Corridor Digital, Film Riot, and things like that, the more we realized that we just wanted to make it as accessible as possible. We didn't want people to miss out because they didn't have the money. And so that's where HitFilm Express was born, and that's why we're really, I mean, we've got some world-class developers working for us at the moment, and they're creating really, really powerful software. And so we're really passionate about making that HitFilm Pro technology available to as many people as possible for less than the £10,000, as you said, that you see sometimes around NAB. Yeah.
Now, Kirstie just outed you as what, the ambassador?
Yeah.
So how did you get this illustrious position?
So we have actually a few ambassadors, and their job on the forum is to kind of just represent the best of the community to keep things, safe and keep everyone happy on the forums. When Kirstie talks about my journey with HitFilm, she's referencing the fact that I used the software when I was 15, when it first came out, and I've been using it since then, and eventually I end up working for the company. So I was one of those kids who was just getting into it. And I found HitFilm, and I really liked it, and I stuck with it, and here I am working for the company. So
that's a great story. That really speaks to the fact that you have a community, in the truest sense of the word, that somebody 15 could be welcomed in, work your way up, just stick with it, and now here you are.
Right. Yeah, and my job is primarily to make tutorials for the community, but we do also have a lot of community members who just make tutorials because they want to, which is great, because that's exactly what I did as well. And we have our own help section, but we also have our users helping other users.
Where is your community? Do you have it on your website, or is it on Facebook, or how do you address that?
Well, it's pretty much everywhere. We do have a public forum on the FXhome.com site, and that's where our community kind of ballooned before we had, say, the other platforms like YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, because although HitFilm is 8 years old, FXhome has actually been going for 15 years plus now. So we had one of the very first kind of filmmaking forums where people could come and chat. Now we're really concentrating on YouTube in a big way. We've got about 200,000 subscribers, which sounds like a lot, but we've got almost 4 million users now. So we're trying to bring those across and let them know that there's training materials there and things. Yeah, the majority of the community that we find is now kind of contained within YouTube and also on the public forums.
It's very interesting that you would take that approach, because it fascinates me, software across the board, that software developers don't use video the way they should. They will forever do screenshots and different things, but they will never do video, and I don't understand why, because there are probably half a dozen training companies here that are delivering training on video. And once you see it done, then it makes, okay, I can do that. That's how you get that effect, or that's how you modify that effect. And it makes such a huge difference. So that's got to stand you in good stead.
I mean, it's really, really important. It's one of the differentiators for us compared to our competitors, is that we put our heart and soul into our community to make sure that everyone has what they need. With regards to kind of learning HitFilm Express, it's really important that people have the training materials that they need. It's not, HitFilm Express is free, but that doesn't mean it's not powerful. So it's not an iMovie, for example. It's not something that's really, really simple to pick up. There are some very powerful tools in there which you will have to do a bit of research before you can learn how to use them properly. So we make sure that, I think we've got tutorials going twice a week at the moment, and really trying to make sure that everything is covered. Yeah.
Do you do any live training, as far as Facebook Live or YouTube Live, or shouldn't I have asked that?
No, ideas for the future. Yeah, it's we've got a lot of ideas in kind of our YouTube strategy and things. Live training is definitely something that we're really, really interested in doing. So far, we've asked our community, and they've said, we're all right with the tutorials for now, so it's not our highest priority, but we ourselves would really like to try it out. I think it would be good.
That's great. So this all sounds great. Where do we send people to get involved with you and download the software and get started?
So you want to go to FXhome.com, and that is, you can click on the Express link if you want to just try it out for free. So that's HitFilm Express. You sign up for an account, download the software, and then it should be good to go.
Great.
We've got plenty of other announcements coming as well, as well as the Foundry thing, which is happening later this year. We haven't decided on a date yet, but we have two other announcements. NAB is this year is our NAB announcement year. We're going to be looking to, currently HitFilm supports OFX plugins, which is great, and our community absolutely love the fact that you can use pretty much anything within the software. But now we're working on bringing the most powerful and beloved After Effects plugins into HitFilm. So do you want to talk about the specifics?
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a big step. So After Effects is, one of the most popular compositing programs, and people often ask, can I use plugins that I bought for After Effects in HitFilm? And for years we've had to say no, they're just not supported. They're two different programs. But we are working on implementing some of the most popular ones so that people can open them up in HitFilm and be familiar with the controls and the features and be able to create the things that they know how to do from After Effects.
We could be here for an hour because I'd love to hear the details of that. But is it just going to be a plug and play, or is it something that you have to address with each particular plugin to make it compatible?
That's a good question. Yeah, we are trying to get as many as possible. It is a separate process for each one since they all have their different specifications and parameters. We do have several working in HitFilm though.
Yes.
It's kind of an individual thing. I think there is a way to make it so that most of them work, which is what Ruben has been doing. But yeah, so we're going to try and get as many as we can, but it's for now it's the most popular ones that we've been focusing on.
As Javert said, we've got maybe 4 or 5 that are going to be released kind of with the initial announcement, and then we're all really passionate about it. We're going to be working hard on it, so we're expecting quite a few of these plugins to be brought into HitFilm in the very near future. We've had a look at the ones that are supported so far, and having specific plugins with a library of kind of 200 different presets, and it's a really exciting set, and we know that everyone is going to lose their mind when they see it.
That's great. So any other announcements? Or is that all we had this time?
One more.
One more?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're kind of the first to hear about it because this is the one that is technically embargoed today, so don't tell anyone. But you're putting this out next week. So we are going to be partnering with Vegas Creative Software, and we're going to be bringing out a kind of suite of software where you have the editing of Vegas and the compositing of HitFilm. We're going to be adding in Emerge, and what's the last thing?
That's all three of them.
That's all three things.
So it's sort of a suite to get the creative job done. So you have your video editing with Vegas, you have your visual effects with HitFilm, and then your image editing with Emerge.
Okay, so I want to make sure I understand this right. So it's marrying Vegas, HitFilm. Is not brand new software. It's just facilitating the use of the two together.
Absolutely. So it's taking all of the most powerful parts of the editor it's taking the powerful editing tools that exist for Vegas, powerful compositing tools that exist for HitFilm, and our new editing software, Emerge Pro, and bringing them all together so that people have the best of both worlds. 3 worlds.
3 worlds. 3 worlds. That's great. That really is. Okay, and all this, we want to send them to FXhome.com for all the details and all the capabilities and everything.
Yeah. We're really, really pleased with our new website. We've put a lot of effort into kind of creating a new design, and everything you need is on the website, and look forward to seeing everyone there.
Thank you so much for the time, and congratulations. Those are some really amazing announcements. I'm not sure which one is more amazing. I've got to think about it.
We're really, really excited, and we know that our users are going to be as excited as we are.
I bet. Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices at NAB. We'll be back with more soon. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.